Hello, dear. Could you possibly lend me a couple of eggs?
Yes, of course, come in.
Good. They're for breakfast tomorrow morning, actually. It's so long since I made a souffle, I'd forgotten how many eggs you use.
Souffle?
Well, you only use the whites, of course, but you can't very well give your man poached yolk for breakfast, can you?
Are you having a dinner party?
No, just Peter and me.
Goodness.
Well, we had a tiny tiff at breakfast. It was all my fault. So I thought I'd give him something special for supper to make up. Oh, thank you, dear.
Poor George.
What?
Getting cod again.
Yeah, what do you think then, George?
Hey, jolly nice, Peter.
Yes, but dead cheap, you see. That's why I wanted you to have a look. Just a thing for those occasional occasions when it's not the thought but the gift.
What?
Well, something like a bauble for making a good repair job. Nora and I had a bit of a Barney at breakfast. You know, my fault entirely. Just for once. Thank you. So don't forget, when you're out of favour, browse through the 7 and 6penny tray. It's better than flowers. It's a permanent reminder of your fine and generous nature.
You're a crafty old devil, aren't you?
Oh, well, time for a quick one then?
But
But of course, if you think you're going to spoil a banquet, you can always invest in some insurance.
no, actually, I'd love a beer. I suppose it's only fish fingers anyway. Come on, let's go. Thank you.
Can you look at it?
What?
The souffle, once it's in the oven.
You're not doing one.
Yes, it's my first. Can you look at it?
Well, it depends, dear. The first one I made, even the cat wouldn't look at it. Yes, of course you can. But only very rarely. They're very shy. What happened to the cod?
Oh, I suddenly thought he's such a darling. Gets home every night on the dot, and the only reward for his efforts is shepherd's pie or a fish finger. And when you said you were making a souffle for Peter, I thought it was about time I did something to deserve George.
Good for you, dear. They're rather lovely, really, aren't they?
Well, I think we're very lucky, Nora. When I think of the men some of my friends married.
I know. Alcoholics with the wanderlust. And we landed a couple of homing pigeons.
So, what are you going to have, George? Pint?
Oh, no thanks, old man. Half for me.
Ah, go on. If she's going to smell your breath, you might as well be hung for a long one. 2 pints at best, please. How's Kate, then?
Oh, fine, thanks.
Oh, you're a lucky man there, George.
Well, thanks.
Lovely girl, fabulous figure.
Do you think so?
Well, it seems so. I wish Nora could wear slacks like she can.
Good heavens, Nora's got a marvellous figure.
Really?
Not half.
Yeah. Well, I suppose she's not bad for an old married.
Old?
3 years.
Good heavens, I just hope we're as good as you and Nora in 3 years, old man. Cheers.
The ladies, God bless them.
Bless him indeed.
Is it all right?
I think the patient will live.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you, but I thought it was getting brown on top.
Oh, it's got to brown a bit. But if it gets any darker, cover it with greased paper.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, I'd better get back and see how my infant's grown.
It's rather exciting, isn't it, watching them rise?
Well, just as long as you never see one fall, dear. Wine!
We were given 6 as a wedding present. It's the last one. I've been hiding it for an occasion.
Well, what's the occasion?
My first souffle.
It does look good, doesn't it? Do you think I'd be overdoing the Charitable Forgiveness Act if I popped round to the off-licence?
What's your occasion?
My first husband. Yes, I will buy him a bottle, bless him. I'll get it out of my summer hat money. I only hope he doesn't get in before I get back.
Heavens, is it as late as that?
It is. Is your lover as punctual as mine? You can't keep a souffle waiting.
It's all right. He's never later than 6:30.
Well, the ladies, then. Oh. Have a sausage, George.
No thanks, I'll be eating soon.
Yeah, well, so will I.
Gives you a warm feeling inside, doesn't it? Well, I suppose you're used to it now.
What's that?
What, to think your wife's at home cooking a meal? I still get quite a kick out of it, you know, that someone's waiting for me to come home.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Well, I don't think of it quite so often as I did perhaps when Nora was a bride, but, you know, I never take it for granted.
Well, that's wonderful.
Oh, never take them for granted, George. That's the best advice I can offer you. She's the same princess you married, even if she does put curlers in her hair when she takes her crown off. Short this time, George.
Oh, not for me, thanks, no, boy, no.
Oh, yeah, Chaser, kill the smell of the beer. 2 scotches, please.
Oh, this used to be my local, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Used to come in here nearly every other night. Thought I was really living, drinking with the boys. Thought I was really living.
Nothing else to do, is there?
Oh, quite, exactly.
Yeah, pointless.
Quite.
I mean, I like a job.
Oh, me too.
But it's, you know, just to stay around doing nothing.
Quite.
I mean,
Pointless.
Quite.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's lovely. Do you know, I think I will have a sausage.
rose perfectly.
So did mine.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, do you think I was always scared to do one before?
Well, there you are then.
See, George, it all boils down to a simple little word. Consideration.
Ah, consideration.
If we wouldn't have had our Barney if I'd considered her, you know.
Really?
No.
Talk about consideration, my dear fellow, you've hit it right on the button.
Yeah.
The chap where I work leaves the office, straight to the bar on the station. Never thinks of giving a little woman a ring. And there he is, stuck there.
Yeah.
He comes home all hours, half blotto, and then wonders why his marriage on the rock.
Yeah, well, that's it, you see, no consideration.
Exactly.
Listen, we wouldn't have had our Barney if I'd considered her, you know.
No.
No, you see, we went to a party last night and one of my old flames was there. Well, not really an old flame, you know. The first wind that came along blew it out. Anyway, Nora's not jealous. But the thing is, you see, I spent rather a long time talking to this girl, and the thing that Nora brought up at breakfast was that, you know, a lot of people noticed. I suppose it made her feel a bit of a Charlie, you see.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah. Do you have many rows?
Yeah, well, can't afford them, old man. Just the occasional let-off steam. Had one this morning, probably want to have another one for a month.
You know, Peter, I wish I'd bought a present for Kate.
Oh, I say, you didn't have a Barney at breakfast?
Well, no, but I wish I'd bought her something just to show how much I love her.
Well, the old boy keeps open quite late, you know.
Really?
Yeah, you want to go along and see?
Could we?
Of course we could, but one for the road then.
No, I've had more than enough already. We better go before the shop shuts. I don't want Kate burning her fish fingers.
Dear.
George isn't back yet.
He isn't?
He always rings me when he's going to be late.
My dear, it's the strangest coincidence, but Peter's not back either.
What? But I thought, well, what about the souffle?
Sank like a stone.
So did mine. I had to throw it away.
Oh, I kept mine. I want him to see it. I want him to know what he did to it. I don't know about you, dear, but from now on he'll get cod, and more cod. Sometimes even cold cod.
But aren't you worried?
Well, he's the one who ought to be worried.
But don't you think he might have had an accident?
No, but he's certainly heading for one. I just drunk half a bottle of Spanish Burgundy, and I'm in the mood to pour the other half over his head.
No, I couldn't be angry with George just so long as he's all right.
Come and have a drink. It'll put you in fighting mood.
No, I must be here in case he rings. Well, in case somebody rings.
All right, we'll have a drop of your wine. Don't worry about them, Kate. They're not worth it.
Oh, they are?
I'm sorry. They're all the same. Selfish, inconsiderate, worthless. They don't need us, you know, as long as they have each other.
What?
My dear, the greatest love affair of all time is a couple of men going to a football match. Their minds are in tune, their hearts beat as one, and when somebody scores a goal, they turn round and hug each other. I promise you, Kate, they're not worth it. Don't waste your tears. They're certainly not thinking about us.
Oh, yes, you love that, George.
Did you really think so?
Oh, yes.
I want to give her something that's really worthy of her, you know. I mean, good heavens, do you realize I haven't given her a present as a wedding ring? It's disgraceful, so I want to give her something to show that I love her as much now as then, if not more.
It's £6.
Oh.
Too much?
No, it's nothing's too much for her, no. Unless he won't take a cheque, of course.
Here, you take checks?
Yes.
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 I'm sorry, but if it's not a matter for the police, would you mind telling me whom I can ring? Well, I told you he's very late back, and he's not usually late, and I wondered if there was any way of knowing if there's been an accident. I don't know what sort of accident. I'm hoping there hasn't been an accident. George Starling. Yes, flat 1, 27 Aberdare Road. Thank you very much. Nora!
Oh, isn't it terrible the way something like this happens when you've had a few words at breakfast? Oh, I'm sorry, dear, it's the wine.
And you haven't helped. I mean, I don't usually worry. I sit at home quite cheerfully rehearsing what I'm going to say to him when he gets in.
Then you think there might have been an
I
accident?
don't know what our row was about this morning. Oh, Kate, I'm terribly afraid I may have driven him into the arms of another woman.
And the porter said, I'm sorry, fare, but there's no return fare for the baggage.
Oh, well then, here we are then. Right then.
What? What?
No. I think it's best if we conceal from them the fact we've had a beer.
They're very funny about beer.
They're very likely to turn awfully ugly.
Yeah, they'll have a job. Even you look lovely tonight. No, seriously. What? No, seriously.
No, seriously?
Seriously.
You have opened my eyes tonight.
Have I?
You have. You have taught me the good things that a happy marriage is based on.
Well, thank you, George. I appreciate that. Well, I couldn't have done it without Nora.
Oh, thank Nora too, won't you?
I will.
Don't forget.
I'll do that, and you give Kate a slap on the seat from me.
Oh, you know, Peter, we must do this again.
The pub?
Definitely.
When?
Tomorrow? I'll see you then. I'm so sorry, my dear old fellow.
Good night, George.
Good night. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself.
Tomorrow, then.
Then.
George! Darling, where have you been?
Oh, nowhere, darling. I just had a quick drink with Peter.
Peter?
Where's Peter now, George?
Hello, Nora.
Where's Peter, George?
At home, I just left him there.
Hi, Kate.
Bring him across for a
Good
drink.
night, George.
Oh, darling, I just came over to say... hello, Kate.
Come on, Peter.
We'll both have a drink first.
No, Peter must have his supper.
I'm not hungry, darling.
We had a sausage at the pub. Come on, old man, I got some wine.
Wine.
I don't think they deserve a drink, do you, Kate?
It's hardly enough for a party, George.
We got a bottle on our table. I'll get that.
Sweetheart, I shall be very cross with you.
Oh, dear, I know that voice. She's going to be cross with me whether I go or stay.
Well, you might as well stay then, won't you?
George?
Might as well.
Peter?
Well, tomorrow then.
Don't you think you've had enough, George?
Oh, darling, I only had a beer. Well, a couple of beers.
You smell of whiskey.
I know that was a chaser. All right, darling, I tell you what, if it'll make you happy, I'll have a bit of blotting paper first. What is it tonight? Fish fingers?
I made a souffle.
A souffle, darling, you shouldn't have.
I know I shouldn't have. It was ready an hour ago.
Oh, darling, I'm so sorry. I'm sure it'll be lovely. Like you. Where is it?
Oh.
It went wrong, did it?
Yes, George, it went wrong. Even Fanny Craddock can't keep a souffle reaching to the sky for an hour and a half.
I'm sorry, darling, but I wasn't to know.
And I wasn't to know that I was married to a selfish, inconsiderate drunkard.
Inconsiderate? Darling, that's one word you honestly cannot use.
When did you consider me tonight?
I'll tell you
You
when.
didn't ring me.
Well, Peter didn't ring Nora.
Yes, well, there's more excuse for him. He's been married 3 years. You've only been married 3 months, and the rot's set in already. Well, you're not taking me for granted, George.
Good Lord, that's what we were talking about tonight. We don't take you for granted. You're still the same princess, even if you do wear covers. That's what we've been saying.
We? Who's we?
Me and Peter.
You're not married to Peter, you know.
Oh, darling, just because we went out and had one quick beer.
Quick? It's long enough for the rise and fall of my souffle.
Like we just popped in the King's Head on the way back.
King's Head? Yes, I knew that pub would become an issue. I mean, can't imagine how you tore yourself away before closing time.
I'm beginning to wish I hadn't.
Right, back you go then.
Right then.
George.
Then.
With all my love, darling.
Half a bitter, please. I'll have a scotch, a large one.
Hello, George.
Oh, hello. Just popped round for some cigarettes.
Oh, yes, so did I. Yes.
Oh. Well, you've got time for a quickie?
Thanks, old man. Yes, I will. Yes. Thanks.
Oh, another scotch, please, and our 20 fags, you know, the usual. Yes, extraordinary coincidence. Meeting up like this, the meal wasn't quite ready.
Ah. No, was mine. Ah.
Oh. Oh, thanks. Here we are, Matt. Well, you're very good health. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
You know, George, I didn't come out for cigarettes. I walked out on her.
You didn't?
Yes, I did.
So did I.
On Kate?
Yes.
You didn't.
I did. We had a flaming row.
Oh, so did we. About a souffle.
So did we.
What about a souffle?
Yes.
What a fantastic thing.
Small minds think alike, I suppose.
Yeah, well, I hope you slapped her down.
What?
You've got to sort them out occasionally, you know. Show 'em who's boss.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, yes. I went on for 10 minutes without repeating myself tonight. I reminded her of the last time that she cooked her souffle. That caused a row, too. We spent half the night waiting for it to rise, the other half discussing why it hadn't. Kindly do not cook any more souffles, I said. They obviously don't agree with us. And then I touched on this bird who was at the party last night. You know, sort of hinted that she wouldn't have bawled me out over a bloody souffle. I didn't go too far. You know, you don't want too much to retract when it comes to reconciliation time. And then listen to this, George. I took the brooch out of my pocket and I said, if you'd given me the chance to explain why I was late, I said, instead of going on like a frustrated fishwife, I said, I could have told you that I was buying you this. Then I flung the brooch on the table and said, with all my love, darling, and stamped out. Best exit I've made this year.
I forgot about my present.
Oh, George, you're a nut. She'd have been walking the streets by now crying her eyes out. What did you say then?
What?
When you left, you said you slapped her down.
Oh, yes, well, I did. Oh, no nonsense, no. I mean, there we were, you see, we were in the kitchen. And she said, I wish you would stay at the pub. So I said, right. And then I left. I slammed the door.
You missed a chance, chum. You'll have to box a lot more cleverly than that the next time you storm out.
What makes you so sure there's going to be a next time?
You kidding?
They're devils, aren't they?
Yeah, incarnate.
Selfish, self-centered devils. Have another.
Oh. My turn. 2 more scotches.
When I think of my happy bachelor days in here, happy days they were, drinking with the boys, I mean, one always knew where one was with the boys.
Yeah, well, they're logical, aren't they? There's some meeting of the minds.
Well, exactly. I used to notice it then. I noticed it then. Whenever the birds arrive, suddenly nothing to talk about. I mean, they're not interested in anything, are they?
Except marriage.
Oh, yes, every time. Oh, those devils. And you see, that wasn't bad enough. The evening will start getting rather pricey because the birds will start ordering shots.
Yeah, gin and orange.
Yeah, made you sick to look at it, didn't it? And every time we bought a pint, they'd say, oh, no, not another. I thought we were going on to see someone else. Whenever we did finally decide to go and see someone else, what happened? They disappeared and took half an hour to spend a penny.
At least half an hour.
At least. And you usually had a length of the penny to start with.
That's it.
Devils! Absolute incarnate devils.
Of course, there are exceptions to every rule.
She's rather gorgeous, isn't she? I say, Peter, have you ever, you know, since you've been married?
Oh, no, not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
Well, I've thought about it.
Have you?
Well, haven't you?
No.
I'll bet you have.
Well, no. Oh, no, but I've only just got married.
Yes, I know, but even so.
Do you think you ever will? Well, I mean, supposing you did, how would you... where?
Well, she lives somewhere, doesn't she?
What, her?
Excuse me, could one of you kindly oblige me, please, with a light?
George, look, if she and I decided to go and have a drink, you know, somewhere else, you wouldn't tell...
Don't tell Nora.
No.
Right.
Hello, George. Have you seen Peter?
No.
I'm afraid we had the most awful row. I didn't know he'd been buying me this. Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I refused to cook him supper. I even accused him of being with another
What is it, a present for a good girl? I'm glad your friend's gone. He wasn't my type. What's the matter? Somebody going to come and whisk you off, too? Oh, good, because, there's a party going on not far from here. I don't like to go on my own. Maybe you could bring along a bottle or something. Might be fun. Well, anyway, it's a start. From then on, we could play it by ear, couldn't we?
Mr. Starling. Mr. Starling. What? Phone. Phone? Phone. The phone. Excuse me.
Tell him you're going to a party.
Hello? Oh, hello, darling. How did you know I was here? It was rather a silly question. Oh, darling, I'm so glad you rang. You what? Yes, I was in the shop when you bought it. Why, who told you, Nora? Well, it helped to make us late. Oh, that's all right, darling. You weren't to know. Well, no, he's just left. No, all on my own. I bought something in the shop, too. Present for a good girl. Well, I didn't get the chance to give it to you, did I? I mean, oh, darling, no, don't cry. Okay, darling, no, don't be silly. Look, I'm coming home this minute. No, it's all right. I had a sausage earlier. All right, then, just a snack. Don't bother with another souffle, will you? I'll see you soon, then. I love you, darling. Bye.
Coming to the party, then?
What? No, thank you very much. No, I happen to be very happily married. Sorry.